Today's video is going to be a quick video, but on a topic that is actually burdening me quite a bit. Today I want to address why it is that sometimes we will have a product recommended to us, maybe by many people. We go out and we buy the product, we get home and we apply it, and look in the mirror and say, why does this look absolutely terrible? Were these people lying to me? What I want to break down in today's video is how this situation happens and, more importantly, how we can prevent it, factors that could influence how makeup wears on us and why it might not work well. So I do want to quickly jump into this topic. My first point is going to be skin type. And for this one, I'm sure many people are saying, well, that's a bit obvious. And yes, it is, but there's also some ways that I don't think are that obvious in terms of how our skin type affects makeup preferences and application. Now, this includes foundations and primers and powders. And we all know this. We all know that if you have a dry skin type, you're probably not going to love a foundation that's formulated for oily skin, and vice versa. We know it with powder, we know it with primer, but we seem to overlook that it extends past just complexion products, and your skin type can really influence whether you like, for example, an eyeshadow primer. This really does make perfect sense. If you have oily eyelids, you are not going to love a creamy eyeshadow primer. You need to normalize that eye area so that your eyeshadow doesn't fade throughout the day, doesn't blend together and look muddy. And if you have more dry eyelids and you use a drying eyeshadow primer, that's how you can end up in this situation of getting kind of flaky looking eyeshadow on. It just doesn't sit well. So the goal here is to normalize the lids, because that's where powder blends, applies, and stays the most seamlessly, to borrow a term from John McLean. I personally noticed this when I tried the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eye Primer. I cannot stand that eye primer, but I don't think that everybody that has oily lids was lying when they said they loved it. They just may or may not have remembered to mention their skin type in talking about eyeshadow. Another one that I've personally noticed is brow products. You know, I really like a creamy brow pencil. For example, I like the e.l.f. Instant Brow Pencil. It's $2 and I love it, but I've seen it so many times on these most disappointing lists. And you know, again, I think this makes perfect sense if you take my skin type into consideration. I don't have oily skin, so I need something that's going to glide on as if my skin was a bit more normal than it is. And for this same reason, I've hated so many brow products that are much more dry. It is horrible for me to try to get them through my brows because that's the skin underneath this brow hair is actually really dry on me. My next point is humidity, and I think this is probably the most overlooked category. How many people give you a product review while also telling you what their climate is like? And why would they, right? What importance does humidity play? Actually, a really big role. And I talk about this in skincare videos a lot because hyaluronic acid is a major offender in this category. Hyaluronic acid is really becoming the cranberry of the makeup world, just kind of going from just being this cranberry juice to suddenly in everything. Cran apple, cran grape, cran mango. We got hyaluronic acid primers, hyaluronic acid foundations, hyaluronic acid powders. It's everywhere. There's a characteristic of hyaluronic acid that is either going to make you love it or absolutely hate it. And that is that the molecule itself actually attracts water, which means that if you're in a really humid environment and you apply a product that contains hyaluronic acid, it's going to sit on your skin and soak up water all day long from the environment, plump out your skin, make your fine lines look less apparent. However, if you're in a dry climate, the exact opposite is going to happen. Hyaluronic acid is not going to be any less thirsty on your skin. It's just going to have to look internally into your skin in order to continue drinking and partying all day long. So if you're in this dry climate and you're using a hyaluronic acid product, suddenly your skin looks worse. It looks dry. All the moisture from your own skin is sucked out of it. And it's almost funny, it's kind of horrifying, but it's almost funny that if you look up product reviews of products that contain hyaluronic acid, you will find so many 5-star reviews and you will find 1-star reviews. But people don't mention their climate, and it's such a factor. This second product that I'm going to talk about under climate, actually, This one quite blindsided me. I did not think about this until somebody on Reddit mentioned it. Liquid lipsticks. Liquid lipsticks. I've said in quite a few videos that I do not care how much people say, we're done with liquid lipsticks, we've moved on to glosses, we will never have to buy a liquid lipstick again. No, stop that nonsense, because I will forever buy liquid lipsticks. I love them. But I wonder, is that influenced by the fact that I live below sea level? Look, let me just put it like this. Disney's Ariel in The Little Mermaid is not swimming under the ocean all day wearing a cream lipstick. You think that's a lip gloss that she's wearing under the water all day long? No, that is a matte liquid lipstick, and it's probably ColourPop's. You know it's Ariel and crew that are keeping ColourPop's Ultra Matte lipstick on the market. I'm just saying. But all jokes aside, if you're in a humid climate, a product for your lips that is going to be extra drying is not going to feel as dry on you as it would for somebody that's in the desert. Number 3 is hair type. And yes, we're still talking about makeup, I promise. You know, most of us know that if we're talking about hair and we're talking about shampoo, a shampoo that is for somebody with fine and thin hair is not going to work on somebody that has curly, more textured hair. We would never in a million years recommend it. But guess what? We have hair on our face, yes, besides the hair that we do shave off from our upper lip. See it? It's right here. See it? See the hairs? See the hairs here? Why do we never talk about our hair type when we're talking about mascaras and brow products? You know, mascara is such a tricky one. You will find people who love and hate every mascara on the market, and I think it makes so much sense because the ability of the tiny little hairs that sit on your eyelids to hold on to a mascara is going to depend on the structure of the hair itself. And it's the same deal with brow products. It's amazing that we often forget that we have hair there, even while we're building up the appearance of more hair. But as you're sitting there working these brow products into your brows, the texture of your brow hair itself is actually going to have quite a big impact on how the products work. So I do want to keep this video short and sweet and hopefully, you know, condense this information and just maybe get people talking more about these external factors that affect whether we like or hate makeup products. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Peace out, YouTube.